Before I started Lisa Shields' dating course, I had spent well over 20 years dating and trying to figure it out, but I had done therapy, I had gone through some workshops and done various dating sites, and I just didn't seem to connect with the guys that I was interested in.
So the course has definitely showed me where I could use some pointers and pick healthier men as well as be healthier myself, and how to respond and act in various dating situations, how a man thinks, just so much through the course. I also feel like it has helped me personally be a light to the world like I used to be before I kind of got into these toxic relationships.
So even by the time I attended the first call in Lisa's program, I was hearing Lisa respond to the member questions, and the responses were just really enlightening. It was just a perspective I had never considered before, about not making up stories and not making up negative assumptions about the men that you were dating. And it just started to open up a window into a new possibility of dating.
I had a major breakthrough, which came on the first Zoom call that I attended. I realized that I had been in my masculine energy with work, and it just carried over into my personal life without me even realizing it.
I feel so open and ready to embrace the guardian of my soul.
So by the time I finished the course, I had just gotten into a committed relationship with a wonderful guy named Tom, who I am dedicated to spending the rest of my life with. I'm in a relationship that's very healthy, very strong, with a great foundation, something I thought I would never have before working with Lisa.
Based upon my experience with all of the coaching, with the calls with Benjamin and Lisa, all the homework, all the reading, I have gotten more than my investment in value, and I know that I'm going to meet the man of my dreams, the guardian of my soul, and I cannot recommend this enough, and I am just blown away by Lisa and Benjamin. I think that the fact that they are able to model the kind of behavior and the conversations that we can have, that spoke volumes to me, and I don't know that I would have gotten that anywhere else.
And Therese, the last woman that you saw, is in love with the guardian of her soul. And it's the first relationship that she has really ever had. She was, as she said, so masculine, so in her masculine that, yeah, that she, couldn't believe. And if you look at her, she's so darling that, Michael, I just made you host. You should be host now. I hope. I think that you are. All right. So let me start by introducing this little panel up here. We have Erin, and Erin is our she manages all of our calls that come in. She will be doing your orientation when you join the course. She is the second person that you'll see as you come into this process, and she really holds this business together on the ad side of things. So she has been amazing, and Erin just happens to be the beautiful fiance of Michael. And we inherited Michael after Erin, and Michael does all of the organization for our company. He is an IT genius. He is an organizational genius. The man he keeps coming up with more and more skills that I didn't even know he had. And we really couldn't function without the two of them. So you will be interacting both with Michael and Erin probably as you do the course. And Linda Pritchett is going to be our interview today. So Linda was kind enough to agree to come on and share her story with the program and her wonderful, wonderful outcome from working with us. And with all that being said, we want you all to start This is a Q&A. I want to introduce this man right here, who was my much better half. Benjamin and I have been together for, it will be 22 years. We will be celebrating on September 10th, our 22nd, the 22nd anniversary of our first date and our 20th anniversary of marriage. So this is a milestone for us, babe. I didn't even 20 years.
It goes by in a blink.
Yeah.
It goes.
And can we put
Yeah.
this up just a little bit? So yeah, right
Good.
there. Okay, great. It goes by in a blink.
Yes, it does.
Aw,
Too fast.
I know.
Too fast.
Too fast. And we are so lucky to have had 22 years together. It's just amazing. So ladies, we want your questions. If you can put them where it says Q&A, Benjamin and I are going to talk about, we're going to answer your questions. There's one question here now. But before I do that, I just want to thank everybody who showed up all 5 days live for the 5 days of training. We will be announcing who the winner is for the profile from Benjamin. If you win that profile and you are not going to use it, you need to let us know because we will offer it to someone else. This profile is worth its weight in gold. You want to get it. And if you're not going to use it, we want to make sure that somebody gets to take advantage of that. And then we will announce the person who shared the most in Facebook gets a gift as well. And there will be some other women who signed up for the course who will also get to have a private session with Benjamin and me. So please, we want you to book your 45-minute calls with Diane, who is our enrollment coach. Those calls are for women who have done this masterclass and know that they are ready to work with us. They're sick and tired of spinning their wheels and they want to get this solved. They know that they can, the years that it would take them to do this on their own, if they can, will be greatly reduced by coming in and working firsthand with us. And Linda's going to talk a little bit about that. So Stephanie, hello. You have been wonderful. I've been seeing all of your wonderful posts and your letter to the guardian of your soul and all in that Finding the Guardian of Your Soul Facebook group. Michael, if you can, I don't know if you posted the link for that, but for anybody who wants to book a breakthrough call or who wants to join the Facebook group, it would be great to get those links up. And Stephanie, you said, are men turned off by a profile that mentions you are looking for a husband or marriage?
Well, I see two questions, and I'm going to answer the first one, and Lisa will answer the second one. None of us have time to waste. None of us have years to waste. And we're looking for the same for men who are looking for the same thing that you're looking for, which is not just a relationship, but marriage. And if marriage is deeply important to you, we need to list it. And it will filter out some really good men who may just want a relationship that's not defined or a long-term partner. But for those of you that marriage is important, I'd absolutely list it.
Yeah. And I also think it's important to say, you can also follow it up with a bit of a caveat. I'm not rushing into anything with anyone, but I am ultimately looking for, not for marriage, for a husband, and I'm looking for my future husband. So you can make it very clear. I'm not rushing in. I'm not in a hurry, but ultimately I am looking for a husband so that a man knows, yes, this is exactly what I want. And I'm not just trying to, fill that position and get it filled. I'm looking for the right guy. And then Stephanie, you asked, can looking too young for your age be a deterrent? I'm 42 and look like I'm in my early 30s. In the past, some men refused to even meet me in person because they assumed my profile was fake. Um, I just think that's like the most incredible gift in the world. I think it would be very important for you to send a message, to anybody or to put in your profile that, these photos are current. These photos are current. They're not retouched. They are, they're recent, and I have been told that I do look young for my age. That's all. And just dispel that myth in your profile right from the get-go. So any more questions? We don't have many. Let's see here. Anybody have questions? So this is a Q&A, and Catherine says, hello, you said men want women to be direct. Does that include asking a man if they are interested in going out on a date or hanging out?
Catherine, absolutely. Yeah, it's really how you do it. And, you know, for a woman to ask a man out, it really delights him because it takes away his fear of rejection, and he knows that you're into him. So those are two pluses right away, and they're flattered. They're absolutely flattered. And but we always wanted to make sure that it seems like it's his idea. So using phrases like, I bet if you asked me out, I would say yes. And that would lead him to say, would you go out with me? But you're taking the female lead, and he's actually doing the asking.
Yeah, you've got, as Benjamin said, you've got to do it. We teach something called taking the feminine lead. I do this intentionally in the course because so many coaches have all of this stuff about lean back and let men chase you, and the book The Rules, where they were like, never call a man back, and sit there like a wilting flower until the guy comes along. And you don't want to do that. And if I were single and dating right now, and I heard a coach tell me to lean back and let a man chase me and not take any initiative and all, I would actually find that frustrating and insulting, because that's like telling a woman to go back to the 1950s. The truth is, we are not our mothers and our grandmothers. And so we want to take the lead, but we just want to do it in a feminine way. So a man would say, would you like to go to dinner? And a woman would say, if you invited me to dinner, I bet I'd say yes. Or, if I would love it if you would invite me to dinner. So you're asking him to ask you. You want the man to ultimately do the asking and drop that ball in his court, because it will be too masculine if you just say, well, let's go to dinner Friday. What are you doing Friday? Let's go for dinner. You can hear the tone of that. There's nothing feminine about that. But if you were to say, if you're free Friday night and you invited me to dinner, I would say yes. So it's a little bit of a spin on that, but it's letting the man be the man and see if he steps up and asks you. A guy that's evasive, if you do that or doesn't follow through, he's not your guy. So we have Amber wrote, let's just here. Amber said, I get stuck. Let's just see. I am stuck writing a first message to a man, especially when they don't have something in their profile that I can reference. Any help saying something that is fun and inviting to get them back? Yes.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with ChatGPT or Claude 3.5 or Poe. These are AIs. And if there's anything in the profile, you could just copy the profile and put it, in the question box. on these AI programs and say, give me 10 humorous responses or flirtatious responses to this, or just give me 10 humorous responses to answer a man who doesn't have much in his profile. And it will take about 30 seconds for 10 brilliant responses. So Lisa is typing that in right now. Write 10 humorous and clever first lines to reach out to a guy on Bumble to get his attention.
So let's see what chat comes up with. And I can actually share my screen, which I think would be really great for all of you. Oh, Michael, can you enable my screen sharing, please? Now that I made you host, I can't share. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So here we go. This is called Poe.com. And the great thing about Poe is that it gives you several different, you can do Chat GPT, you can do Mistral, you can do Claude Plus, you can click any of the AIs that you want to use. I'm using Claude Sonnet. And let's see, write 10 humorous and clever first lines to reach out to a guy on Bumble to get his attention. So let's see what it comes up with. I was going to start with a cheesy pickup line, but I'm lactose intolerant. How about we skip straight to the good conversation? So some of these are awful and some are great. I'm not saying I'm Wonder Woman, but have you ever seen us in the same room together? I matched with you because your profile didn't say looking for the Pam to my gym. I'm not sure I get that one. I'm on a mission to find out if laughter really is the best medicine. Can you care to be my test subject? So you can play with this, right? I'm not a genie, but I might be able to make your wishes come true. What are your top 3? I promise I'm more interesting than I look in 500 characters or less. Shall we test that theory?
Brilliant.
So some of these are really good. I swipe right faster than I grab the last slice of pizza. That's saying something. So I swiped right faster than I grabbed the last slice of pizza. That's saying something. Let's play a game. 2 truths and a lie about we matched. I'll start. So these are fun. These are clever. You don't need a guy to say a word in his profile. And we actually find that that's a little boring to look at someone's profile and quote from it. I'm not saying you're boring. I'm just saying that everybody does that. And if you're going to stand out, guys, everybody loves humor and playfulness. And if you're going to get a man's attention, the best way to get his attention is to be playful and funny. You can even say something just as simple. I'm looking at Michael's photo right here, but you can say something as simple as, where'd you get that Hollywood smile? So just know it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the most brilliant thing, but anything that's just clever and playful that will, grab a man's attention is wonderful. So Stephanie says, I'm honestly passionate about what other people are passionate about or pursuing. And Stephanie, that's a great thing. How would I inquire about his business passions and or career without it seeming like an interview? Well, you would just say, one of the things I love is hearing a man talk about his dreams. Would you like, would you like to share yours?
And also adding that I'm a great cheerleader and a great supporter of other people's passions, their dreams, their goals. And, I'd love to know yours. And if you're interested, I'd love to share you mine.
Yeah, but men, that is such a bonus. Men love women who support their dreams, and also when a man shares his dreams, you want to really be excited and enthusiastic. I don't care, if he's a CEO and his dream is to be a dog trainer. Like you have to say, "Wow, tell me more about that." That's a crazy, dichotomy. What is it about being a dog trainer that lights you up without like rolling your eyes and thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to marry a CEO and he's going to tell me one day he wants to be a dog trainer." So you've got to really be excited. You can't like show on your face like, "Really, that's your dream?" Yeah, you've got to really light up when he does share his dream, regardless whatever it is. So Sherry says, I've met some older and not energetic men who are older and not energetic, but my age is the same and I am more youthful. How do I navigate the apps? Do I have to put my real age? At present, my app presents men 4 years older and more. Yikes. Sherry, you don't. You know, you do not have to put your actual age. You can say, uh, I always say that you don't want to go too much younger because then you're competing with women who are much younger than you, and you may not look that age, right? So if you're 40 and you feel 25, you don't want to put 25 because, you're still going to look somewhere around 38, 39. So you don't want to go more than about, 3 years younger, 4 years younger
Yeah.
tops, because then it starts to become too much. But anybody can put a few years younger, especially if you're 60 and you want to come in around 57, so that you're not over that 60 line.
And Sherry, then you clear it up immediately because you don't want something to show up later that wasn't true. You say, I put my age 4 years younger because the men who have been responding to me, even at my own age, seem so much older. And so I wanted to meet a man like you who has, youth and vitality.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, Sherry, be sure to reach out to men that you find interesting, the guys that you really like, and use these more playful, fun lines. Do not just, send, "Oh, I read your profile and it looks like we have a lot in common." So you want to be sure to make sure that first message is playful and fun and that you get them to a phone call or a Zoom call quickly. A man is conversing with me, but just lost his wife earlier this year. Is that a red flag?
It's not a red flag. And we don't know the whole story. We don't know if his wife had been ill for quite a long time and the marriage went from partnership to caretaking. Um, we don't know really the quality of the marriage. Um, we don't know if he still feels married and would feel that he's cheating if he started dating. And so he would have one foot on the gas, but one foot on the brake. Um, and it's one of those things that come out that are teased out gently with conversation, with communication.
Yeah, I mean, somebody could have also been caretaking a partner for years, and he, feels like he had been single for a long time. And you also, a really good thing is if somebody has been through grief counseling or in a
Yeah.
grief group. I think that from everything I know, being in a grief group and working through grief and moving forward is imperative for people. So highly, highly recommended. So you would want to check all of those things, but you could I find that widowers who had great partnerships and were in great relationships are amazing partners if they're ready. So Katrina says, I have shied away from dating online because of catfishing. How do I weed these people out? Well, first of all, Katrina, one of the things that we really do in our course is help women weed these people out. the dating sites are rife with this stuff, and you do have to be very, very, very careful. That being said, um, there are sites that you can use to test and see. There are sites, I do not know the name of one, but there are ones where you can upload their profiles to see if the profile is fake. It will give you to see if it's a fake profile. And there is another company called PIMIze, PIM. I'm going to do this. I want to post this for everybody. There's a site called PIMEYES.com. It does allow you to do, I think, 10 free searches, and then you may have to join, but it's worth it. And all you do is download a photo of this person and then upload it to PIMIze and run a search. And it will show you everywhere that photo may appear online. And it will give you even more photos of somebody. So you need to go on and check those photos. And sometimes they're using fairly realistic photos these days. So definitely check the photos on PIMIze. And then the last thing is get them on a Zoom call right away. Get them to FaceTime or Zoom with you immediately. And do not sit and just, text and text and text. That's one of the mistakes that so many of you are making. And you can very blatantly say, look, I have dealt with a catfisher in the past. It is very important for us to just hop on a Zoom because I have to make sure that people who I'm talking to are legit. And if it's a real guy, he's going to jump on with you. And if it's not, you're going to wind up, wasting time. So you just got to get them on a Zoom call immediately.
And one litmus test to see if someone is catfishing you or is scamming you, if they come on so strongly, so quickly, and it's just completely out of proportion. And, often these people are just someone working out of a old building in Myanmar or Cambodia, and they're just sending out emails and seeing who responds. And they'll really come on strong. They'll often say that they're an engineer and they'll be out of the country and
working on an oil rig.
Exactly, finding some excuse not to meet with you in person. And then they may say, I was just robbed. They may say, I got tickets to see you. And then 2 days later saying I was just robbed, and they took everything. I need some money. And we had a woman this last week who was just contacted her, who was a scammer. And the scammer said, are there any deal breakers? And he said, well, there are two. One, if you ask me for money, and she never heard from him again. So, but these people have pretty similar stories. And you definitely, if the word Bitcoin ever comes up, just block
Run.
them, because there are so many scams where they'll get people to invest and they'll actually make them money, and their accounts will swell, and then they'll convince them to put in more money, and then the money, everything will be gone. So be very careful, but getting people on a Zoom call would be the best solution.
Yeah. And never, ever, ever. And then meeting in person right away. And never give anybody you've met online, even if it's a guy you've gone on a date with, and he tells you that he has some kind of foreclosure on his home or some sob story. Grown people should be responsible for their own lives and all. And they should not, a grown man should not be asking you for money. Let's see. Is there an ideal number and type of profile picture to post? Well, you want to, 5 to 8 photos tops.
Mm.
You should have a professional photo shoot. You want to have one photo in either a red top or a red dress. And that red top or red dress photo should be your main profile picture because red is like a stop sign. So when somebody is scrolling, red jumps out. That's why stop signs are red. They grab your attention. And so when you're wearing something red, it will draw attention to you. And just, when somebody's just sitting and aimlessly swiping, that red dress or that red top will jump out. You do not want to wear clothes that are bulky, like this dress I'm wearing right now. You don't want to wear a dress like this on camera. The camera will not see through, and men absolutely want to see your figure. I don't care if you weigh 180 pounds or 108 pounds. A man wants to see your shape, and there will be men who find your curvy body absolutely the hottest thing they ever saw. And we all know women who have super curvy figures and they've got great guys. Men love them. And we have clients like that. You all make up stories that you are not hot and you are not sexy, but you then go take photos in a dress like this, in a tent dress, and then you put yourself out in a way that a man cannot be attracted to you. So you got to wear form-fitting clothes. You want to have a red shirt, and then you want to get a professional photo shoot done. And you don't want all pictures that are posed. You want a photographer who shoots weddings or lifestyle photography, or a brand photographer who shoots movement and can make you look natural and catch you smiling authentically, but not just pictures like old-fashioned portraits.
And you want to be looking directly into the camera, because when a man looks at your picture, it strikes him when you are looking back at him. And you also, I agree with Lisa very much about getting a professional shoot, but you may have a favorite photograph from 10 years ago that just catches you with the right smile, the right look, the right lighting, all of that. But if it's not how you look now, it might be disappointing or confusing to a person if they're seeing more current photos of you. And also, if when you meet or you're on the Zoom call for the first time, you want all the photos to represent who you are, just so that there's no misunderstanding.
Is it wise to date someone who recently divorced and claimed to be working on himself?
Many men who are recently divorced are going through therapy and others in self-help programs. But when a man, particularly if he's been married for a while, gets divorced, he may be hungry for a relationship and concurrently be wanting to play the field. Because if he gets into a relationship soon after the divorce, he may feel cheated that he didn't get to really be out there in the world and be with different women. So I would say it's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, you want to be careful. Not every single man who's recently divorced is a bad bet, but a lot of times they are, and they're just not ready. And then what happens is he's in an emotional place and needs to be buoyed up because he just got out of a failed marriage. And then you come in and it's like you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be, he's such a great guy and his wife, wasn't there, and I'm going to be different and whatever. And you buoy him up, and then he starts feeling good. And like Benjamin said, he wants to go out and start dating other women.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation to put yourself in. What should the Zoom call look like? Is it short just to make sure they're a real person, or is it longer to suss out compatibility? I would say, 15, 20 minutes tops. You want to just make sure they are who they say they are and see if there's any chemistry. Is this man positive? Is he upbeat? Does he feel like somebody you would want to, take that next step to go out on a first date with? But you just want to get a sense of who that man is. It should not be an interview session. It should just be a hi, it's so nice to meet you. And how is your dating going? What, just some very simple, fun questions and whatever. And then, I so enjoyed this. I have to, take care of some things before work tomorrow. But, it would be lovely if you were open, if you asked me out for coffee or for a drink, I would absolutely say yes. And then just leave it and cut the call. But it should just be something simple, just to see if he is who he is. Katrina says, I recently spoke to someone who was married for several decades and lost his wife to cancer 2 years ago. How should I know if he's ready to date?
Well, first, if he speaks about his wife constantly, if you go to his home and they're just covered with pictures in the, all over the house in the bedroom, that he may be holding on. But we don't always know, because with cancer, as I mentioned earlier on the call, that sometimes partnership, the sweetest marriage, can turn into caretaking. And often it can be a relief for the person who passes, because they could be in so much discomfort, and consequently a relief to the caretaker because the person isn't suffering anymore. But it's something that comes out over time. And I wish there was a formula or something we could recommend that would, really kind of put your mind at ease. But you may not know until there are conversations and really see how he behaves.
And just in answer to Alexis's question before we go to Linda, yes, Bumble is a good dating site for over 60. And also, we have tons of women who meet their guys on Silver Singles. So just because it's called Silver Singles and you feel like a young 60, there's actually a lot of good guys on there. So we are going to go to Linda Pritchett. Linda, if you can come on camera, that would be so great. And we are going to pin, let me just see here. We will pin you. I'm going to pin you.
See, can you hear me?
And then Michael, can you pin me? I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Michael, are you able to pin both Linda and me?
I see them.
Are we both pinned? Because I don't see us. Okay. You're also here, Michael. I see all three of us. Unless I'm doing something wrong. When I look at speaker view, it's just me. All right. Well, I will go ahead and get started. You can only see Linda and Lisa. Okay. All right. For whatever reason, this isn't showing up well on my and Ben. Okay. Thanks, Stephanie. All right, Linda. Hello.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. It has been a while. And look at everybody. Look at Linda's pink shirt and see how that pops.
Yeah,
that's what that red shirt does when you're, when you're on camera. That's what that red shirt does. Yeah. So, Linda, it is such a pleasure. I haven't seen you for ages, but we've traded emails here and there. And I know that let's roll back the tape to before you were dating, before you met me. What was your love life and what was your dating life like?
Well, it was non-existent intentionally. I had been married I didn't get married till I was 38 years old. Then I got married and had my 2 sons. And, for all intents and purposes, I thought it was a good marriage. It turns out he was cheating on me for about 10 years of the 15 years, which, people say, how did you not know? I watched Oprah. I used to see, the lady who her husband had a double life. How could she be so stupid? But really, truthfully, if you knew all the things there, it was almost impossible. He compartmentalized everything. So once I found that out, for a minute, I thought I could work it out with them, because finally we have the truth and now we can build on that. But in the end, it just wasn't going to work. So we got divorced and I took the high road. We had as good of a divorce it could be. But honestly, I was fiercely independent. And I heard you talk earlier, which reminded me of the whole course when we took it. I always led with my masculine energy. I had to. As a child, I was the oldest of 4. I had to become the mom overnight due to a lot of extenuating circumstances. And it just continued throughout my whole life. Being a woman in business in the 80s, when you work for corporate America, you're just sexually harassed out the wazoo. You have to be tough all the time. And you lead with masculine energy. It's the only way to climb the corporate ladder, which I became the first woman vice president of a company in their history. And so it turns out it doesn't work so good in relationships, right? It just doesn't. And so what you all taught me was how to tap into my feminine energy. But to get back to why I took the course, I turned 60 and I had been single for 10 years and enjoying it. I have a million friends. My boys were thriving. I was making a lot of money and everything was perfect. But there was this little gnawing thing. I work with older adults. I worked with retirees, basically. So 65 and over mostly. And I preach and I scream from the rafters, you age better when you are together with someone. It is not healthy to age alone, right? And unless you're in a toxic relationship and all of that. But in general, if you're in a supportive, healthy relationship, people who are in one will age better, live longer, and have a better quality of life. Because once you get into your 80s and 90s, you have 2 halves of people. One tend to lose their cognitive function, one tends to lose their physical capability, and then you have one person together, and it's just safer environment and healthier environment. So I started looking in the mirror saying, well, wait a minute, I'm going to age alone if I stay on this trajectory. So the reason why I took the course was, number one, I was petrified of attracting the same kind of person I attracted the first time. And so I wanted to make sure that, I knew myself well enough. I was doing all the right things, recognizing things when I needed to, and being very self-aware so that I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Because you have to be aware, self-aware, to go through this process in a healthy way. You just have to. And if you start recognizing patterns from before, when you were dating or before you got married and got divorced and all that, then there's something there. Twice is a pattern. I'm sorry, but it just is. So you have to recognize it. And so number one, I wanted to do that. Number two, I had turned 60 years old and everything had changed. Online dating became a thing, technology, ChatGPT to be able to write things and respond to things. There are a gazillion coaches out there, romantic and what you do. And you have to weed through what it is that you're looking for and match up with the right one. So for me, the other reason was I wanted to come around the curve faster. At 60, I'm like, my God, it might take me till I'm 70 to meet a good man. I don't want that. This is going to be the best 10 years of my life that I have left. So that's why I did it. I invested in it. I looked at it as an investment in myself. And that is always the best investment. If people think the best investments in real estate, in the stock market, in cryptocurrency, they're kidding themselves. The best investment is in yourself. And I knew that. And so I did it. And turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened, because now I'm getting married. Yeah. Yay. Yeah. And that really, to be honest with you, that was not the end goal. For me, it was if I met the right person, I would be open to it. My last marriage did not ruin me from marriage. I loved being married, just not to him. And but I just, I was open to it. I was really just looking for a relationship, a good, healthy, intimate relationship with someone who was kind and self-sufficient and self-reliant, and someone who allowed me to be who I am, someone who wasn't intimidated when my masculine energy snuck out, because you can't change overnight. But you guys did teach me how to tap into my feminine. And I met Tom after 22 toads that I kissed. And here we go. We're getting married next year.
Oh,
So,
and Linda, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
absolutely extraordinary. And I'm curious, you said something really wonderful about how there's a gazillion coaches out there.
Mhm.
And, it's really important to find the coach that's right for you. And that
Mhm.
you really did look for you looked. What stood out? Like, of all these gazillion coaches, why did you pick us for you?
Because, I mean, in a nutshell, and that's like a whole nother interview because we don't have that much time, but in a nutshell, the other ones that I was looking at, and they all have books and they all have websites and they all are good on social media, but there wasn't a lot of substance to it. It just seemed like it was just a lot of fluff and, oh yeah, when they say this, you say that. And if it, and a lot of game playing. And when you're, no matter how old you are, see, younger women who are still, I would say, in their 30s and even 40s. I didn't have my second son till I was 41. So all the women out there that are in their early 30s, don't panic. I mean, the human body is amazing. And if you have the right partner, you can go all the way up. My best friend had a baby at 45 without any help. She just got pregnant by her husband. And but later in life, you're not looking for a provider and a father of your children. It's a completely different search, right? And so I found that a lot of those other quote unquote coaches were really going after the 20-year-olds, up to maybe 30, 35-year-olds. And there was not a lot of meat there. I wanted someone like you that, understood the psyche, understood how we can become our own worst enemy and coach us through that whole process. And I didn't even know about Benjamin. To me, Benjamin was just a bonus. Now I'm sure you've incorporated him into the whole mix, but having his perspective on things during some of the calls and in the Q&A and things, like we could email Benjamin and ask him questions, really did it really help me in particular. And I know other women too, because I've become friends with some other women. But anyway, that's why I picked it, because it seemed to have the most substance. And yeah, it was expensive. And I'm like, okay, but what price do you pay, or can you put on love and support? Like Tom, he's like the yin to my yang, and we're complete opposites. He has no children. He never had children. He's quiet as a mouse. I'm not quiet as a mouse. And we fit together like two pieces in a puzzle, and we bring out the best in each other, and we support each other in ways that I've never felt supported before. And that was the other thing, is that I had to make sure that when I did find a really good man, I was able to hold to him and not let myself get in my own way, which is what many women do, right? And there's a lot of women out there that feel like, oh, because most women who join your program are quite successful because it's not cheap. So they have the money to invest in it. And a lot of women, yeah, there are a lot of guys out there that are intimidated by really strong, independent women, but there's also a lot out there that are not.
Yeah.
And the key is to be really clear about what you're looking for, and understand how you interact with different types of people. I'll give you an example. One of my best friends, if not my best friend, trying to get her to join your program. she keeps chasing the butterflies in her stomach and that exciting feeling when you fall in love. So many women are addicted to that feeling. But I remember over and over in the course, it was more, you kept saying, it's the one that makes you feel like you're at home, not the one that excites you and gives you that butterflies in your stomach. Now, don't get me wrong. I was so excited to see Tom every single time I would see him. I did have butterflies in my stomach, but I saw this saying and I shared it with him once. I said, you make me feel wild and calm at the exact same time.
Wow.
And that is the most amazing feeling when you find someone that turns you on, you have great chemistry with, but yet as soon as you're with them, you're at home, everything's good with the world, and being, laying on his chest and falling asleep at night is the most peaceful place on earth. So that's what I found. My girlfriend keeps getting dumped by these exciting guys because as soon as the excitement wears off, they go off to the next exciting thing. And we're 64 now. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, that's it. That's
Wow.
why I chose you, substance.
Yes, Linda, I can't even tell you how wonderful it is to see, to see how happy you are
Well,
and to
thanks.
know that you met Tom. And I know you guys have been together for what, 2 years, 3
Yeah,
years?
a little over 2 years. When we get married, it'll be right at not about a month or two shy of 3 years. So,
It's
and
amazing.
listen, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I would text you and email you, and you'd say, you might need to move on from this. I'm not sure, and I kept saying, nah. I did move on. To be honest with you, we took a break. And for my own sanity, I had to go out and start dating other men. I said, you need to go into counseling. You need to figure out what's going on with you because you have all these wonderful things, but I can't deal with that. Right.
Yeah.
And
you did.
But I did it because I wanted to see if he would do it. And I learned from that experience that man would do anything to save us and to save our relationship. And so he went into intense counseling and really got in touch with a lot of stuff and then was able to articulate it with me. And in the end, it just ended up working out.
Linda, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
I could talk to you all day. Maybe we'll get you back for a different interview, just like a separate interview. I would love that. I have to watch the time and all.
No, go ahead. I just want to say to people, if you can afford it, you don't want to put yourself in the poorhouse, obviously. But if you can afford it and you are looking for love and you want to, have a real supportive relationship, just take the plunge. I mean it. It's life-changing. Even if it doesn't happen right away, you'll learn so much about yourself that you'll be able to become a better person and a better partner. So that's what I want to say.
And the quality of the relationship that you will find will be far and away better than anything that they'll do on their own.
That's right.
Just what you know about men and communication
and compassion and you learn how to be empathetic to men. I mean, they sort of get a bad rap in this world. And so anyway, just be true to yourself. That's all.
Thank you. Please give our love to Tom.
I will.
So appreciate you being here. And there'll be a little gift on its way for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. Good to see you.
Linda, thank you.
All right. Take care.
Congratulations.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Oops. There you go. You saw it here first. Linda met the guardian of her soul. I believe they're getting married on Valentine's Day of next year. So that could be you. You don't have to spend another Valentine's Day or Christmas or New Year's or birthday or any other holiday, attend your children's graduation or anything without the guardian of your soul by your side. We can show you how to get that solved. I want to tell you just a little bit about the work we do. This course right now is 6 months long. We are cutting it back to 4 months. That is going to happen soon. So if you sign up now, you will have 2 extra months in the program. If not, it will be whatever the length of the program is when you sign up. And if you come back and say, well, I thought it was a 6-month course, if we've reduced it to 4, it will be 4. So in the course, you will get my modules, my process. It will come to the form, in the form every week. A new set of videos will open up for the first 2 months of the course. It's a lot of material. It takes people sometimes a lot longer than that to do it, but you will get all of those modules in those training videos in those first 2 months. This is where you are going to learn about the voices in your head, the voice of love and the voice of fear. You are going to learn about your final 5. You are going to learn about your whole relationship history, those patterns that Linda was talking about. 2 is a pattern. So you are going to start to see repeating patterns and how to break them. You are going to get your wish list of 10 things that you would like to have in a partner. You're going to learn how to ask for what you want in a feminine way. You're going to learn about men in a way that few women ever understand men through this course, so that you can sit across from a man like Benjamin and hold your own and not get up in your head, but be able to be in your heart. You'll learn how to take the feminine lead and mirror a man's masculinity back to him. This course, as Linda said, it is substantial. This is not fluff. We are going to transform you from the inside out. Nothing we do in this program is superficial. You know, it isn't, it's simple, but it's not simplistic. So we are going to teach you how to land a man on your level. Then you will have 1 coaching call a month with Elizabeth, our coach, our head coach. So she will be doing your one-on-one calls. And one of the best parts of this whole program are the group Q&A calls that happen twice a week. You have access to 2 2-hour coaching sessions with me, Benjamin, or Elizabeth. And we are there to answer all your questions, just like we did on this Q&A. We get down, we dig in, we coach you right on the spot. This is where you'll meet the other women in the course. Linda talked about the friends that she made while she was in it. Well, you are going to make lifelong friendships in this program. And then we have our Facebook group where you can connect with the women, ask questions in between Q&A calls. We have our help desk at hello@lisashield.com. So everything goes through that help desk. And then if you need our help, we are there for you. Those emails get sent to all the right channels so that Erin and Michael and Elizabeth and me and Benjamin can help you. And then last but not least, Benjamin writes your profile for you. He writes the most amazing profiles you have. I'm telling you, you may read it and think, oh my gosh, that's so vulnerable, but men read them and cry. Like they will say, your profile brought tears to my eyes. You said things better, everything that's in my heart, only better than I could ever say it. When can we meet? It will also, that profile will also weed out a lot of scammers and a lot of players and avoidance, because they will know that you're the real deal. So what we want you to do is sign up for a 45-minute breakthrough call. I want to be clear. These calls are for women who want to join our program. We will discuss the investment on that call. If you need financing or funding, or you need anything, to do with finances, Diane will talk to you about that on the call. But do not wait. Do not think that you are going to take what you learned over these, last 6 days, the 5 days of training and our Q&A, and implement this on your own. As Linda said, she probably would have met her guy at 70. Do you really want to spend 10 more years going in and out of the wrong relationships? Or do you want to be like Linda and have a ring on your finger, or Sandy Raff, who shared earlier in the week, these women who have found their guys? That can be you. You may have pieces of the puzzle. You've probably been reading books and researching and YouTubing and going on master classes like mine and thinking you're going to get this by osmosis. But you can have all the pieces of the puzzle. And if you do not know how to put the puzzle together, you're wasting time. You may think, oh, well, it's my feminine energy, but you may also have 3 dating patterns that you haven't even identified yet that are sabotaging you, limiting beliefs that are holding you back, that you don't even know are getting in your way, blind spots, and things that you're going on dates and you're in your head and not your heart. And Mother Teresa said the longest distance is from the head to the heart. But maybe you sit across from men and you get self-conscious or anxious or avoidant, and you want to run away from the guys who are really great. And then you stick around and you try to have relationships with the wrong ones. You're chasing butterflies like Linda's friend that she described, instead of finding the man who grows on you slowly with time and makes you feel wild and at home. So we teach you how to find the right man. And we show you how to do this now, not 10 years from now. The one thing you don't have is time to waste. And I really want every one of you to think about this. If you live a long and healthy lifestyle, how many more years do you have? I'm going to be 63 years old on August 28th, 2 days from now. I will be 63. I got my act together and figured this out 22 years ago. So I spent all of these years with the love of my life. If you're in your 60s or your 50s or your 40s, how many really good years do you have left? 10, 20, 40? Now think about how many summers that is. If you have 20 summers left to spend with the love of your life, 20 summer vacations, 20 birthdays, it's not a lot. And these years go by in a heartbeat. Think about how many years you've been telling yourself already, I'll get this solved. This will be the year. Okay, this will be the year. Well, this will be the year. How many years have you been doing that? 5, 10, 30? So fail to plan, plan to fail. If you don't have a strategy, a step-by-step roadmap for getting this solved, it won't happen. So please sign up for that 45-minute breakthrough call. Come on that call with the intention that you are going to sign up and get this solved. I told you about the course. I told you about the modules, the Q&A calls, the one-on-one calls, the Facebook group, the friendships that you're going to make, the team. You know what's involved. These are not calls to get coaching. These are calls for you to sign up and get this solved. Some of you have been telling us, I want to wait until the masterclass is over. Well, today is the day to make that choice. Today is the day to wake up and say, I am going to do this. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to work with Benjamin and Lisa. Look, we're not going to be on the planet forever. We are not going to be doing these Q&A calls. Trust me, we are going to be hiring another coach we're going to be stepping back from doing those Q&A calls. We are not going to be on the front end of our program forever. So if you have any desire to learn directly from us and really get the best of what we have to offer and see our relationship up close and personal and learn from this guy here and get a profile from Benjamin, he will not be around forever to write these profiles for all of you. So if you want this and you really are serious, and I saw somebody post in the chat, I need to work through this and I need to work through that before I can get out and date. I'm telling you, you can be working through stuff from now until forever. You can do that. I did that for years. I got out of my marriage and I did tons of personal growth work, but it didn't help me solve this part of my life. You can still work through your issues around your mother and your father and your ex-husband and whatever. You may be working on that stuff for a long time, but you can still be searching for your partner. You don't have to be completely healed. You can be working on those things and still be out dating and finding your guy. So book your call. Don't waste time. Let us help you get this solved so that you can have the love life and the life of your dreams. I'm Lisa Shield.
And I'm Benjamin Shields.
And we want to thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us for Land a Man on Your Level. Now let's get those calls booked and let's get this solved. My love to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for signing up. Please book your call now. Thank you, Wendy. It was my pleasure. So many of you, Claudia, Stephanie, you've been terrific. Alexis, Amber, it has been our joy and pleasure. Thank you, Stephanie. I hope we get to meet. My love to all of you, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.